Hi everyone, I have an awesome trick that I want to share with you tonight. Hopefully this will work as good as I have heard. So I have not tried this myself. I figured I would try it the first time on camera, share with everybody. It'll either be a golden tip, especially if you're into color by numbers, or it will flop and it won't work at all. So to start with, I am going to try to attempt to color with water-based markers. So this is a mix of mostly Crazy Art, and then there's a couple Crayola Super Tips in there. I am not a fan of water-based markers due to streakiness, so I don't have anything fancy. I just have a Ziploc bag of the basic colors I use to put down before I go over with pencil. So the trick I heard, and I seen this on a coloring channel called Eileen Vick, Teaching Adult Coloring with Eileen Vick. And so what she showed was to spray your page with a workable fixative before you color with the markers. And I do not do a whole lot of pages where I have to worry about streaking, but I've seen a lot of people in the community on the color by number kick and having a lot of trouble, especially like in the Disney books with the bigger areas with the streaking. So I figured let's try this and see how it goes. So I am going to show you in just a regular Amazon papered coloring book, nothing fancy. I do suggest you test it on your own paper before you jump in, just in case papers are different, because like I said, I haven't tried this myself. I just seen it and learned about it, and I was like, I'm gonna try it out. So I'm gonna do half of this first. I'm gonna draw a line so we know where our spray line is. I'm going to shake up. This is Krylon Workable Fixative. I got this at my Walmart. It's around $7. Sorry, I should have shook it up ahead of time, but I didn't think about it. All right. And then we're just going to hold this on our line, and we're going to spray. Good coat. Let it dry. For future reference, if you are going to spray any kind of fixative, you should do it outside, well ventilated, away from children, pets, all that good stuff. Don't copy me, bad influence. So we're going to let that dry. We'll write fixative on this side so we remember. And then we'll just swatch a couple of these and see what happens first. And then we can try it on a page. Alright, so I'm going to turn it this way. So this is our non. So you get the most streaks, if you haven't noticed, when you start and stop with your marker. Holy cow! So if you go over it a little bit, it will streak, but it is like way better than before. But you can even it out fairly easily. So let's try it a little bit on an actual page and see how well we do. Pick one with fairly large areas. Let's do this one with the pumpkins. Putting that behind just in case. I'm going to spray it. Okay, give it a minute to air out and dry. You don't want to try it wet. Sorry, rocking the camera, trying to air it out so it'll dry faster. All right, so let's start with the orange first, shall we? Try these pumpkins out. Let's see, I'm not sure what color orange is. So I'm not gonna do a whole lot of fancy outlining with other colors and whatnot. I am just going to color this one straight. Going a little crazy. I don't want to bore you guys too much with pumpkins, so I'm trying to color them somewhat fast. So if you guys already knew this trick, that is awesome. But I think it'll be a great help in projects. If you need to use a water-based marker like Kirby Roseanne's or large areas, but you don't want that streaking, you can see a little bit, and when it dries, I will go back over it a little and see if I can buff them out a little. Make a couple of these stripes a little darker here. Obviously, coloring in small circles will help the streaking. Got a big streak right there. Spraying evenly will be a big help as well, but for the most part, I think it looks pretty good for a Crayola marker. Obviously, my coloring is a little rough, but the marker itself. So let's try coloring in little circles and see if we get So as far as if this is good for your markers, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure if the fixative will ruin your tips. So that might be something you try on a cheaper set of markers before you jump in with any good ones, if that is a thing for you. Like I said, I didn't even actually buy these ones. These are like leftover ones I've slowly picked up off the floor from my daughter and just have kind of threw in a bag. And then when she catches me coloring and she's like, I want to color with you, then I give her her own markers back, and she thinks it's just so cool because she thinks they're mine. So that's all I'm using. Nothing fancy. Maybe we'll do this half of the pumpkin lighter and see what happens. It is drying fairly well. Oh, there's going to be a streak there because I just popped my marker right on it. Okay, streak my lines a little. Does take layers really well now. That's good. Also a bonus. Alright, this little spot right here is bugging me. Alright, so it is looking good. There is still a little bleed through even with the, oh my goodness, the workable fixative, so it's not exactly a protectant. So I wouldn't put it down to try to use it as a barrier against like alcohol markers going through the paper. I have heard that work on some things, but I know for a fact if this Crayola is going through it, then odds are, throwing markers everywhere, trying to get to a blue. Gotta check these markers because they are my daughter's, and sometimes when I found them on the floor, I could not find a lid to match, so I just picked a marker and a lid and threw them together. And there's a couple times that I've borrowed her markers, but that's almost bit me in the butt. See, like I said, it's drying fairly smooth, not a lot of problem. Want that spark darker for a shadow. So you can still create texture with it. It's not taking away the amount of marker your paper can hold. It is very smooth, which I think I like. That is pretty neat. I would call it a win. It's not perfect, but it is better than some of the things I have tried to do with alcohol markers in the past. So my pumpkin has a couple lines, but not bad. Let's see, out of curiosity, let's try this. Nope, wrong color. Let's do a yellow for his face and just see if it changes alcohol marker at all. And that is a really bright yellow for his face. Didn't mean to do that. It was just a practice page. This is a very cute book. I have a hard time getting into the super simplistic books. I do like a challenge, but these are fun every once in a while. alcohol marker looks amazing. It does bleed through, like I said. That is just a touch new marker, so. But I do believe the alcohol or the water base looks pretty good. So that is my tip and trick for tonight, workable fixative under your water-based markers. If you decide to try this, please let me know if it works. I'm very curious as to other people's results. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great night.